And earlier this morning here in southern Ontario, well, we looked like a scene right out of Force of Nature. Very heavy rains, but now they've cleared up. And you know what? We're feeling fairly comfortable. It's 14 degrees right now in Hamilton. Pretty impressive for November the 24th. 10 degrees right here in Toronto. Behind me is Billy Bishop Airport. The ferry is running no problem. The water is actually fairly calm. I brought my rain pants, but I don't need them this morning. Now, a mild day is on tap, yes, but don't forget the mitts, because this morning I am still a little bit chilly out here. So as you pack all the essentials for the kids today, you will need to pack some relatively warm stuff. It is November after all. So right here, 10 degrees in Toronto, and a little bit chillier when you head out towards Oshawa, just 8. But for now, I'll send it inside to you guys, Emily and Tom. Good morning. And you know what? I'm thinking that some scenes out of southern Ontario will end up making it into Force of Nature through the next coming hours because damaging winds are on tap. Emily will have more on that coming up, but first let's get into our temperatures. It is a warm morning. I know I'm still wearing mitts because I'm a little bit of a baby, but we are calling today the November thaw. Right now in Kitchener, it's 14 degrees. It is 10 in Toronto, where we're standing right now, 10 degrees in Barrie, and also in Oshawa, 9. So these temperatures that we're seeing right now are extremely warm compared to last week. Last week, our wind chills, well, you know how they felt. They felt like -14. So a very nice day in store today in terms of the temperatures. The worst of the rain seems to be over. We had some pretty heavy downpours around 1, 2 a.m. Now we are seeing a clearing in the city of Toronto, but damaging winds in store, possible gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour. And with more on that, I'll send it inside to you guys. Well, we're calling today the November thaw because temperatures are a lot warmer than they were last week. Right now, current temperatures, it's 14 in Hamilton, 12 in Kitchener, and 12 in Toronto. Now, I'm down by the water, Lake Ontario here, Billy Bishop Airport behind me, and it does feel a little cooler. And as we take a look at the water, it's starting to move a little bit faster than what we were seeing maybe about 45 minutes ago. So I would say, yes, the winds are definitely picking up today. And I know here at the Weather Network, we are telling you today is going to be a warm day because temperatures, yeah, they are quite a bit above seasonal. But don't let the wind fool you. Wind gusts are going to be around 70 kilometers an hour. Some areas, maybe 100 kilometers an hour. So a very breezy day in store. You will still have to dress for the elements. Now, Tom and Emily, I'll throw this back inside to you. But Emily, I want to say, what a vacation week you picked last week. You left and there was no snow. It snowed all week. The wind chills were down to -14. And now you're back and there's also no snow.
What can I say? Mother Nature and I are pretty tight.
I guess so.
Right?
Can you keep it warm for a few more months?
I can keep it warm for today.
Okay, look at the waves crash here in Toronto. This is just alongside Billy Bishop Airport, and this could look like a scene right out of Force of Nature as the winds are really starting to pick up here in southern Ontario. We're calling today a mild day, yes. But with these winds, it's chilling us down a little bit. Temperatures right now, 14 degrees in Kitchener. We're looking at 12 in places like Hamilton and Toronto, just 9 degrees in Barrie. So quite a spread of temperatures, yes, but overall, everyone is above seasonal. So remember that for today, but also remember, these winds are very strong. You can tell by my hair right now, things have really started to pick up. The waves right now just sort of crashing into the shore. And things are only going to be getting more intense into the afternoon. No wind warnings in place right now for southern Ontario, but we could be seeing gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour, and ultimately that could be damaging. So of course, for more on this story, I'll send it inside to you. Good morning, Tom. And here at home in southern Ontario, looking like a scene right out of Force of Nature. We started off overnight with some fairly heavy downpours around 1 to 2 a.m. And now the rain, no longer our story. We're getting into the winds. Who needs an anemometer? Just have a look at my hairdo right now. This is only going to grow throughout the day. Now, wind warnings are in place west of the GTA. Right here at home, things are going to be getting a little bit more intense. So for more on that story, I'll send it to you guys inside. Good morning, Tom. And don't mind my hair like this.
That wind blowing, look, very nice.
And our active weather, it continues right here in southern Ontario. The winds are really whipping. I know today we are calling it the November thaw because right now temperatures are comfortable. It's 14 degrees in Hamilton, 13 in Kitchener, 12 right here in Toronto. But these winds, they're not only making an extreme mess of my hair, so excuse that, but they are really chilling me down as well. You need the gloves on this morning. Also, you don't need the full winter parka, but something that's going to act as if it's a wind shell, because the wind, it sort of just goes right through you. You can see with the water, Lake Ontario just whipping against the shore, and these winds throughout the afternoon, this is only something that is going to continue to increase. Well, a very good morning to you. Today's the day. We're calling it the November thaw because temperatures, well, they're a lot warmer from what we were feeling like last week. But I will tell you, quite a strong wind. Wind warnings are in place right now throughout southern Ontario. We'll get into that later on in the hour. But we have the potential to see wind gusts gusting to around 100 kilometers an hour later on today. Right now, it's comfortable, I'll say. Just I'm comparing things to last week. But once you're closer to the water, things are a little bit more damp. Also, the wind gusts are starting to get quite strong. Earlier, we were showing you the waves crashing into Billy Bishop Airport. In terms of the temperatures, it's 14 degrees right now in Hamilton. Right here where I'm standing, it's about 12 degrees. But the wind keeping us feeling just a little bit cooler. So for now, I'll send it inside to you guys, Emily and Tom. And scenes out of southern Ontario today with damaging winds possible. They could be making it into force of nature. Rachel Schoutsen here with you right now. We have Emily and Tom in the studio. But first, take a look at this. Overall, I'm going to say it's a fairly nice morning. The lake is starting to ramp up a little bit as the winds are starting to get a lot stronger. But overall, when we talk about the rain, that was really an overnight story. Now, in terms of our temperatures, right now in Hamilton, it's 14 degrees. That is leading the pack. And then we have an 11 here in Toronto. Same thing goes for Barrie and Oshawa as well. So we're calling this the November thaw, yes. But overall, with this wind, Tom, I'm going to say temperatures are still cold. I am not overdoing it out here with these mitts. November thaw, yes, but it is also quite cool. I am putting my mittens on, and I'm going to tell you, I actually need them this morning. Now, the sun is coming out. Things are going to be feeling a lot better. However, these wind gusts have the potential to get up to 100 kilometers an hour later on in towards the afternoon. Right now, it's 14 degrees in Hamilton, but right here in Toronto, it's only 11 degrees. So put yourself a little bit closer to the water, a lot of dampness in the air, and things aren't feeling too comfortable, but I'm going to say much better than what we were feeling last week. I also want to mention the winter outlook comes out today at 9 p.m. So if you want to know if perhaps another ice storm is in store or what we're going to be getting into, make sure you keep it here at the Weather Network. 9 p.m. tonight, that's when it's released. All right, guys, I'll send it inside to you. Good morning. Well, active weather not being a huge story right now here in southern Ontario. As we can see, great blue skies behind me. The clouds have departed, but what's going to be our story into the afternoon? Well, that's going to be the wind. Wind gusts are already starting to pick up here. I'm just outside of Billy Bishop Airport, shots of Lake Ontario, and yeah, winds are picking up, but in towards the afternoon, this is where winds could get around 100 kilometers an hour. That's not a sustained wind, that's more of a gust. But this is sort of going to be our next weather story as we take a look at today. In terms of our temperatures right now, it's 14 in Hamilton. That is very comfortable. That is much above seasonal. 13 in Kitchener, but right here in Toronto, it's 11 degrees. And once you're closer to the water, that's when that damp air sort of starts to play a factor, and especially this very cool wind. So overall, Emily and Tom, I'm going to say it's okay being out here, especially when I think back to last week at minus 14.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Rachel. I say it like I know.
Well, you know, it's been a pretty brisk down there.
Very, very intense winds. They're already really starting to pick up through Toronto. We join Rachel Schoutsen. She is down at Billy Bishop Airport. And Rachel, even though the temperature is 12 degrees, you're wearing mitts and a hat. Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, the hat is actually just to protect my hair from looking ridiculous on TV. But the mitts, yeah, I really do need them because this is the type of wind that just goes right through you. The sun just came out here, so this is going to make things feel a little bit better for me. But as you take a look down here, you can just see those waves crashing right into the landing strip of Billy Bishop Airport. So again, the power of the wind, something that we will be talking about throughout the day today. But Emily, I'm going to say this is a lot more comfortable now than it was last week because the wind chills last week, they felt like minus 14. Oh, but you wouldn't know anything about that.
Yes, you're right. Thanks, Rachel. I was in Jamaica for a week, so yeah, I missed it all. Missed everything. We've been joining Rachel Schoutsen. She is down at Billy Bishop Airport, right near the water. And Rachel, even though temperatures are above seasonal today, you say you're not overdoing it with those gloves.
No, I'm not. And especially if you're planning on heading down to the lakeshore today, it's a very damp air. And especially when these strong winds come by, it's a little bit uncomfortable. More comfortable than last week's wind chill of minus 14, I will say that, but a gusty day. And you know what, Emily, it has me thinking. I know that the city of Mississauga at Celebration Square just put up a ginormous Christmas tree on Saturday. So I'm really hoping that they secured that well, because with wind gusts possible to 90, 100 kilometers, that could be an issue.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Rachel. It is going to be a very windy day.
Yes, here just outside of Billy Bishop Airport, and this is where the winds are going to start becoming a pretty big story here through southern Ontario. Wind warnings are already in place, and I'm going to say right now winds are gusting around 30 kilometers an hour, but they have the potential today to reach around 100 kilometers an hour. That's wind gusts, so that could be damaging winds. That will be a big story. Now, I also want to mention, I know over the weekend at Celebration Square in Mississauga, they put up their big, beautiful Christmas tree. So I'm going to say, I hope it's properly secured because this could be a bad situation with these very strong winds.
Well, Rachel, we have two cold fronts that are coming through. It is both hands on the steering wheel. No question about that.